What's going on, guys? We are back with another RNG recruit interview. We have got with us a very special international recruit. Excuse me, I somehow made those two words one word. That's my bad. We have an international recruit with us who has made a lot of noise due to his upside on the offensive line. He's actually going to be making his announcement, his commitment in his country today, which he's already a little ahead of us, but, it'll be today for him. I can't wait to bring him on because his story is unique and his upside is just so evident when you watch this film. I've watched this guy's film probably 15 times already, so I'm really excited to bring him on here and have him introduce himself to you. What's up, Daniel?
How you doing?
Doing great, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the crowd.
Yeah, so my name is Daniel Akinkunmi. I'm offensive lineman from UK, England. Um, I go to the NFL Academy. I currently have 35 plus Division One scholarship offers. If you want to find me on social media, is that official_grind4, and that's where you can find me.
Right on, man. So I gotta ask, with you being an overseas player, what got you into the sport of football?
Yeah, so I originally started with basketball, wanted to be Division One in basketball. Quickly had to realize that was not going to happen. American football was up and coming in the UK.
Yeah.
The academy opened in 2019. It was 2020 at the time. I decided to switch from basketball to American football, and I thought, let me give it a go. It's a new sport. What you needed to be big, you needed to be big framed. So it really just fit in with me. So I came in my first year, did the best as I could. Just was trying to be as coachable as possible. I did very well from like my sophomore year, getting 8 offers, just increasing and it just keep on going well.
What is your current height and weight right now?
So my current height and weight is 6'5", and my weight is 300 pounds.
Okay. Have you had your wingspan or arm length measured?
Yes, I have. So my wingspan is 6'10", very close to 6'11". My arm length is 81.5 inches.
Impressive. So, what has been the focus for you when it comes to developing technique? Where have you been wanting to kind of challenge yourself and take your game to the next level?
I feel like something what a lot of high school players don't really take focus is the footwork. I feel like for offensive line, everything starts from the ground
Yes.
up. So I've always known my feet is always the most important thing. Like my upper body, I can fix. Striking, I can fix. But I feel like the upper body is something was very hard to teach. And for me to be able to get it now will really help me for when I get into college. So my main aspect of everything when I was training was footworks and just working fundamentals. So like the fundamentals are key. I think a lot of high school players forget that all the special stuff you see from NFL players, they've been doing it for years and years and years. So they've already done the basics all the time. But I've really honed in on the basics and try and make it to perfection, as you say.
That's great, man. That's great. And you want to know what I've actually heard before? I've had the fortune of having former Miami Hurricane offensive lineman, and he also played in the NFL for over a decade or almost a decade, Eric Winston. And I asked him, when I'm talking with offensive line recruits, what's the first thing I should tell them? And he said, foot speed, foot speed, foot speed, foot speed, foot speed. He just repeated it over and over. He's like, in college, they can get your body right. They can do everything else. But if you can get your foot speed down, he said, that is what is going to catch an offensive line's coach's eyes. And it's very evident on your film that you've got that quick footwork. You can see it. It's clear. So what kind of, with you playing overseas, what kind of seasons do you get to have? I mean, do you travel across, to other countries to play? Do you play mostly in your own country? How does it all work?
Yeah, so because we're not in any type of conference, we are actually an independent school, so we find games when we can. So our
Okay.
season is really from August all the way to June in the summer the next year. We get as many games as we can. Like this year, we've had 3 US high schools. So we played Ronda Prendy IMG varsity white and blue, and then we also played Erasmus Hall from Brooklyn, New York. We lost to Ronda Prendi, but we won against IMG and Erasmus Hall. So to have those opportunities against US competition really gets us to compete with US guys who've been playing the sport for years, and to be able to get good film and show coaches. And then after that, our US games, we normally play against like GFL teams, CFL teams, so like semi-professional teams around Europe.
After you played a couple American teams, is that when you started to notice a lot more colleges starting to get in touch with you?
Not really. I felt like it was me going to camps what really helped me.
Okay.
I did a very good job of making a brand and getting my name out there. The key part was just to be a good player. And I felt like I prepared myself before I built my brand. So me coming into this, all it was is a matter of telling coaches of what camps I'm going to be to, because the NFL takes us on camps each year. And they bless us to give like 20 guys opportunities to completely go for free. Like the NFL pays for everything. What's absolutely amazing. They're the main reason I'm able to take these trips and to have all these scholarships. So mainly, I just tell coaches what camps I'm going to be to, and then they come out and watch me.
How many positions have you played on the offensive line, and what is your current position on the offensive line?
I can play all 5 positions fluently. The main position I'm being told and most likely to play at college is tackle. At my high school, I've just been moving from guard and tackle.
Okay. I can see tackle, especially with your arm length. That can be a big advantage for you. I can see that. So I'm curious, in practice, what's your favorite drill?
Ooh. In practice, it will either be shoots or inside run. Like
Yeah.
I love to hit. I feel like that's a key thing what a lot of guys miss out. If you don't love to hit, you won't have the mentality to play the sport. So I love to hit guys and move guys against their will. And I feel like that's the main reason why I'm being such a good offensive lineman, because I love doing it. Like you see some guys, they hear inside run like, oh damn. When I hear inside run or shoots, I'm like, let's get this thing going. Let's time to hit someone in the fucking chest and get this shit ramped up.
I love hearing that, man. I love hearing it. I'm a guy who's all about the trenches. I believe in the trenches on both sides, and I believe that's how games are won and lost. And I'll say it to anybody at any time. So let's do a 180 on that. From your favorite drill to what's the toughest drill you got to go through?
Toughest drill for me will probably be so we do a drill here, like we change pressures. So you have you in your stance, and then you're stepping, and then you have someone pushing against you, and then sometimes stepping away. So you really have to try and stay balanced. I would say I hate it or I struggle with it, but it's more of something I need to get better and I need to react faster, because me going at the next level, I can't get bull rushed and then feel the pressure and get walked back and then start to sink down and anchor down. I see it a lot earlier. Like I need to be able to feel that pressure straight away, pop to stop and get low and stop them. So I feel like that's something I really need to work on, feeling that pressure and fighting against it.
And you mentioned earlier when we were talking that you had played basketball. Were there any other sports that you grew up playing as well?
Played rugby for a bit.
Okay.
Played handball. One was very surprised to a lot of people. I played volleyball. I've always been a sporty kid. I've always loved to take part in sport. I also did shot put.
Cool.
I also like to run, so I did track quite a bit. But yeah, I just love to be active and be running.
An offensive lineman running track, man. I love that. I love it. That's awesome. So what do you feel, I know that, you are constantly working on improving and always trying to, get better and better, but what do you feel your current strengths are? What do you do best on the field right now?
Currently right now will definitely be my footwork, my my relationship to the defensive lineman, so staying in front of the defensive lineman, and my body control and my balance.
What traits do you feel it takes to make an elite offensive lineman mentally and physically? What are those traits that are going to be needed for any offensive lineman to get before they can become that status?
I really feel like, first of all, you have to be an athlete. You have to be a big athlete, and I feel like that's a really key thing. As soon as you have that base level of athleticism, what's very good for your size, that comes a long way. Like you see some of the best tackles in the game, some of the best guards in the game are just athletes. They can move, they can bend, and they're fast and twitchy. I feel like mentality wise, you have to be able to go every single play, because obviously a lot of people don't realize when you're offensive lineman, you don't come off the field. The only time you're coming off the field is when you're literally injured or you literally cannot play. So you have to be able to push someone back and put them in the ground, play after play after play, and not get tired, not let up. Because if you let up one play, that could be a sack, that could be a TFL. And it's not you running the ball, it's someone else running the ball behind you. And as soon as they start taking those hits, they're going to start wearing down. So I feel like the goal as a mentality as offensive lineman is to be a protector. Like you have to have that mentality of no one's going to touch my running back, no one's going to touch my QB.
Awesome. So if you had to describe your game to somebody who's never seen your film, who's never watched you play, how would you describe your game to them?
I'll describe it as dominant, physical, and aggressive.
I think that's perfect. So how's recruiting, man? I know you're going to be making your announcement today, when you're in your home country here. How has the recruiting process been for you, being an overseas player, having to deal with time zones and visits and all that stuff? Did you enjoy all of it, or was it pretty hectic?
I feel like the calls were pretty hectic because there's a lot of times where coaches finish training and practice around late their time, but then it's early in the morning. I'm probably already in bed, sleep and get ready for the next day for me. So there's been multiple times I had to stay up to have calls, to have conversations with head coaches, just purely because of the time zones. Visits I've absolutely enjoyed. Like to go over there and see it in person and see the coaching staff in person is amazing. Like I don't live in the US, so I don't get to see all the coaches all the time. I don't get to come to the game all the time. So when I get these opportunities to see the whole coach staff, to see the players, to see the facilities is amazing. Like it's life changing, and it's always an amazing experience.
I'm kind of curious, I know you've got your top schools, one of them being the University of Miami, who happens to have a head coach who is Coach Cristobal, who himself is an offensive line coach. I'm kind of curious, as a recruit, is that something that, is attractive to you when you're looking at a college, that you have a head coach who truly understands the offensive line?
Yeah, of course. I feel like having a head coach who believes in the trenches is a very key thing, because if you don't go into a system where they trust the trenches, you won't benefit from it. Like I'm trying to get ready and try and hopefully make a career out of this and go to the league and be prepared. So to have a coach to have that experience just gives you a nice understanding of, he knows what he's doing, he knows what plays to call, he knows when offensive line should do run plays, pass plays, play action. So I feel like that's just very important, and it just really helps the bond for the team in general.
What are the biggest factors for you in choosing a college? What's most important for you?
I feel like most important would be it feeling like a family vibe, because obviously I'm so far away from home. I won't be able to go back often. It needs to be able to feel like family. I need to be able to feel like I'm going to be taken care of, even if I'm injured or playing. Another thing will probably be education. I want to do business, so make sure they have a good business school. Obviously, I want a good offensive coordinator with an NFL-style system. Also, a good offensive line coach who has history of developing players to the next level and who are just good at developing in general. Because I need a coach who will be able to sit down and develop me. Because obviously, I've not been playing the game for that long. I'm still raw. and I'm still learning. So I feel like I need a coach who's good at developing, because that's the main thing I need.
Understandable. So have you had a chance to, maybe develop some favorite players, guys in the NFL, guys in the NCAA that you've been able to watch and maybe steal a little of their game to add to your game?
Yeah, so I really feel like Trent Williams is a really big one.
Yeah.
Probably ran around the same height, weight, and athleticism at his age.
Yeah.
And I've always compared my numbers. I feel like that's one thing I've always tried to be. I've always tried to act and be a pro before I am a pro. So when I get there, the transition is very easy. So I've always looked up Trent Williams' stats and seen what he's done in college or in high school and be like, I need to be those stats now. So by the time I get to college or the NFL, I look like I am a next different human being built in a lab somewhere in a factory. So that's always been my approach, to be the best as I can be now and not waiting. Like, I take every single day as my loss, because we never know what can happen in this world. So me always going out there, making sure I get 1% better or improving in some type of way in my craft and in my game is very important to me.
Well, man, looking up to Trent Williams, I don't know if there's a bigger freak on the offensive line than him, man, honestly. I mean, the things he does, it's almost unfair sometimes. Seriously. When you see him pull, I'm scared for the defender he's going after, bro. He's going to he's going to run him over. It's either that or defender's just going to move out the way.
Yeah, of course. Have to make a business decision.
Yep, and it's a tough business decision. That's a very tough business decision to make right there. So at this point of the interview, what I like to do is I like to give recruits a chance to kind of show some love to people who've helped them along the way, on or off the field, coaches, trainers, parents, anybody like that. So feel free to show some love to whoever you'd like to.
Yeah, I feel like definitely starts with my family. They've been very supportive the whole journey. So my mom, my dad, family, cousins, brothers, cousins, uncles, family in general. Obviously, my teammates have been a major part of them, just supporting me, help me.
We lost your sound.
Hello?
There we go. We got it.
Yeah, just improving in general. I feel like just keep on improving and playing hard.
And earlier you had
oops, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I want to thank like my coaching staff, my offensive line coach, Coach Gavin Collins, Chris Durham, has helped me like a lot of my recruiting process. For Bryce, who works with NFL IPP, has really helped me out within my game. And then all the fans and supporters have just supported me from day one.
Awesome. And earlier you had mentioned your social media accounts. Go ahead and run those social media accounts through again, just so people can make sure they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on all social media platforms under official_grind4. That's for YouTube, TikTok, IG, feed, Threads, Twitter /X now. You can find me on anything. Just search that up and you'll find all my social media.
Awesome. Well, this is the last question that I got for you, and I'll let you get on with your night. I know you've had a long day. It's been a long day, and it's going to get
even very long day.
It's a long day already for you, and it sounds like it's going to be even longer as it keeps going on here.
Yes.
So, I'll definitely get you moving on here. This is the question that I asked to – it's the last question I ask to everybody I bring on my show. It doesn't matter, recruits, players, coaches, athletic directors, retired players. It doesn't matter. They all get the same question. Why do you love the game of football, Daniel? What makes you want to go out there and compete at the highest level that you possibly can on a weekly basis?
I really feel like I've fallen in love with the game to a point where I'm absolutely obsessed with the game. Like, something a lot of my friends laugh at. I barely play my PS5. I barely watch YouTube. I barely watch shows on Netflix and things like that. My Netflix is watching Huddle and watching tape. That's what I tell everyone. Like, if you go on my huddle account, you would see I have the most hours out of my whole team, out of my whole coaches, because I actually love football, and I feel like that's all I want to do for the rest of my life. If that's just playing all the way to having a Hall of Fame career, as I hope, or to helping out coaching or broadcasting, and watching the NFL. Like, I love this game, and I feel like nothing can pull me apart from it until I physically cannot play or physically cannot do it. So as long as I have that passion and drive, I'm going to keep on outworking every single person around me and playing this sport as hard as possible.
I love that answer, Daniel. I love it, and I believe you 100% when you say it, because I've seen your tape, and I know how hard you work, man. You work your butt off, so I believe it fully.
Thank you.
Well, Daniel, man, you have yourself a great rest of your day. I know you've got a big, big day making your commitment. Many blessings to you and your family going forward in this process. I hope everything works out as gloriously as planned and everything just falls in place for you. And I truly wish nothing but the best for you, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yep. You have yourself a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you sometime soon here. And maybe we can get you back on for an interview in the future.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon, Daniel. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that was one of the, in my opinion, most slept on 2024 offensive linemen to come out. I mean, we're not just talking from the United States, we're talking about worldwide. This is an overseas player. The upside is there. It is clear. Not just the God-given talents, but the technical talents are starting to show through as well for Daniel. It was great to have him on. Like he said, he's going to be making his commitment. So, guys, be prepared. The commitment is coming very, very soon. We're talking hours here. We're not talking days. We're just talking hours. So it's coming soon, guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. He's got some really big schools going after him because he's a special player. We'll talk to you guys soon, and thank you for joining us for another RNG Recruit interview. You guys have a great night.